Hello, fellow photographers. Today I'm back on the island. I seem to flit around all over the place. Actually, the reason why I'm on the island is this past weekend I had a workshop with the Courtney Comox Photographic Society. There was about 25 people showed up and it was excellent. So thank you very much, Courtney Photographic Society, for having me come along. It was a really great weekend. Now, since I'm on the island, I decided to, rather than spend time in the south as I usually do, I've come up to the northern section. So I'm not too far from Telegraph Cove, Port McNeill, and I'm in a little area called Little Huson Caves. Now, I've been here several times over the years. It's a karst formation, so they're limestone caves, but there's one section here that's really cool to photograph. It's a very large cavern where the river comes out the other side, so that it's formed quite a large natural bridge. Now, most of the year the water levels are too high to kind of get in there safely anyway. But I'm hoping, since we're late summer now, the water levels are going to be low and I'm going to be able to wade in a little bit so I can get some views inside the cave and looking out. So that's the plan. It's not too far to hike from here. It's barely a kilometer from here. Anyway, I'm hoping that's going to work out for me. Off I go. Pretty impressive, eh? So as you can see, this is called the Atlac River, and usually in the spring, late winter, it's just raging through here. So there's no way that you could walk into the entrance of the cave here. You can usually go to the edge here and take photographs kind of looking in or looking out. But what I'd like to do on this trip is just wade in just a little ways and try and get some shots looking out more. So this main cavern here, it goes probably about 100 meters or so, and then it opens up again. And so this is like a natural bridge. So the trail that I just hiked is actually on top of this bridge here. And then there's other caves and potholes all throughout this area. But it's very cool. Right, I'm going to start looking around and seeing if I can get some neat compositions. All right, well, this is the lowest I've seen the water level, so I'm just not sure. There's a pool back here. I'm just not sure how deep it is. I don't really want to swim, that's for sure. Just incredible in here. It's just amazing in here. Looking up, now I can't really videotape it, but there's some really cool patterns all over the top of this cave. So what I'm going to try and do is maybe take a few shots looking up with the wide angle, like the 14 to 24. I'll probably have to enhance them a little bit in Photoshop to bring out all the cool details, because there's all kinds of reds and whites and grays. And then also looking this way, we have another entrance behind me. So this is basically just a big cavern or a big tunnel. And then I didn't realize this, but over in this direction over here, behind me to the right, are another two entrances that go to the outside of the cave. The water is pretty deep that way behind me, so I don't think I'm going to go that way. And I don't think I'm going to go down there either. It's a little creepy in here, especially on your own. Big baby. Now the light in here is really quite interesting right now. Outside the clouds have kind of cleared up and the sun's come out, so it's really quite harsh and contrasty outside. But inside here, what's happening is the water's getting reflective light from the direct sunlight hitting the trees, but it's also getting this strange blue cyan cast, which I'm assuming is just reflection of the blue sky. So it's a really neat contrast in color and light. Now whether I can capture that or not, I'm not sure. Like if I point over this way, that's where the sun's hitting that side of the canyon, but behind me where the water comes out again, that's still in the shade, so it has this weird blue light. And then behind me here, where there's these two small entrances, it's quite evident that they're still in the shade as well. So I found down here there's a really neat kind of a S-curve in the water here, and then it leads out to the entrance, which has a slightly warmer tone to it. Over on the rock over here, I found a very large poo. Now it's not bear, it's definitely not human, so I'm not sure what was in here, but something took a big dumper in here. Possibly a wolf. We don't have any coyotes on the island here. I'm not sure what else it could be. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, interesting. Maybe it's a Sasquatch. Or, I never thought of this, could be a cougar. Never thought of that. Definitely. Right, I'm going to do a similar thing to what I did in the Carmana that time in Saltman Grove. I want to put a human element in this, so obviously I'm on my own again, so I'll be the model with my red jacket again. Now it's pretty, I mean, even though there's reflected light in here, it's still pretty dark, so my lens is wide open at 2.8, ISO 400. I could go a little higher, I guess, but quarter of a second should be okay. I could probably hold still for quarter of a second. So I'm going to put it on a 10-second timer, and hopefully I can make it over to that rock over there before the shutter goes off. Right, here we go. hear the shutter this time, so I don't know if it's gone, and I can't see the light either. So counting in my head. There's some really neat rock formations. I really love this pointy formation here, and you'll notice there's all these like little divots or cupping. Now I was reading the sign up above, and it said that I think it was it's called clamming, and then what it's from is water rushing over the surface really fast, and I guess it creates these patterns. What's really interesting is that the patterns extend all the way to the top of the cave, so I'm guessing at one time or another there was water rushing at the highest point here. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time with the composition here. There's a bit of a reflecting pool in here, but of course because it's so dark, it's not really reflecting an awful lot. There's some beautiful shadows and textures in here, so I'm almost thinking it might make a good black and white, because there's not an awful lot of color in here anyway. So I'm just going to play around with this and see if I can come up with the reflecting pool, and then there's neat little pinnacle here with all the textures and the shadows reaching out to the left-hand side here. Well, that was really, really magical. That's the first time that I've ever actually gone that far into the cave. Usually the water level is a little bit too high, but that was just brilliant. I especially like those patterns on top of the cave ceiling there. Just amazing. If you do come, make sure for sure that you come late in the summer when the water levels are low and you can just walk in, because otherwise in the spring water levels are just too high, I think anyway. You might be able to swim in, but it might be a bit dangerous. Well, that's it for me on this in this video. Thumbs up if you liked it, and if you want to continue to see more of my upcoming videos, please make sure you subscribe. Okay, till next time, thanks ever so much. Bye.